There are no disputed facts. We are not going to, my lords, place before your lordships any disputed fact. All are matters of record.
Your question is, can a constitutional court decide 10 schedule?
That's correct.
10 schedule.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. That's correct. Because under the 10th schedule, it is the speaker to decide, my lords. Correct, my lords? But if the proceedings, my lords, are imbued with illegality, and given the conduct of speakers in the past, what then should be the attitude of the court in a given matter? That's the other thing. And then, of course, lastly, my lords, how do you deal with an issue? And that, my lords, because the last question in the reference is the powers of the Election Commission. And your lordships, and that's the last question, which is the last issue your lordships will have to decide, that under paragraph 15 of the symbols order, when there is a split in the political party, it starts with that proposition that two factions have arisen pursuant to a split in the political party. Then which faction should get the symbol?
Will that arise in this case?
I'm sorry?
Will that arise here?
Yes, that's a question. That's a question. What is the role of the Election Commission in matters under the... That's part of the reference.
So under paragraph 15 of the symbols order, when two factions emerge in pursuance of a split.
Yes.
So what is the sequitur? How would you end the sentence?
Well, then what is the role of the Election Commission in deciding that matter? Should it await the decision of the Constitutional Court? Should it go ahead? Your lordships only, Malaj, as your lordships will remember, in September said no stay. But your lordship did not say how he is going to decide it.
But that, Mr. Sibal, is your independent challenge to the order of the Election Commission.
That's a separate issue, Malaj.
We can't really decide.
No, that's part of the reference, Malaj. I'm going to argue. Malaj.
Can we, how do we...
He's saying...
Constitutionally, the Election Commission cannot proceed. Malaj, the split would have to happen on 21st of June. There was no whisper of a split on 21st of June.
Your contention that therefore the Election Commission itself cannot proceed until the Speaker has decided.
Correct. That's what your lordship said. No stay, fine, Malaj, no stay. We went before the Election Commission and said, you cannot decide this matter. The matter is pending in Supreme Court. He said, no, but Supreme Court said no stay. And you will find that tomorrow, Malaj, when your lordship sit at 3:30. But be that as it may, that's the last question that your lordships, your ladyship will have to look at. So these broadly, Malaj, are the issues that you might be asked upon to decide, Malaj, that you might wish to decide. Now, Malaj, let's go to the list of dates, because unless you have the facts, Malaj, it will be... Malaj, this is now PDF page 108 of the written submissions. It is marked as capital A, and I have learnt how to use the iPad.
Mr. Sibal, just wondering if you could just look at the issues that were framed.
Ladyship, I can't hear you.
Look at the issues that were framed once so that we know the perspective in which you're arguing. The issues that were framed for reference to the Constitution.
I can read those.
Can we just to review?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Call before we
Reference
proceed
order.
further.
Yes, reference order. Your lordships will have that. Order compilation, Malaj. PDF page 28.
Order compilation.
Orders compilation, PDF page 28. And the questions start at page 30.
Is the order dated?
It is on order dated, Malaj, 23rd of August, 2022.
Page 28.
Page 28, Millards, and the relevant part, the question starts at page 30 at the bottom.
Order compilation, right?
28.
PDF, page 30, Millards.
28.
Your ladyship has it? Justice Shah, Millards?
Yes.
May I, Millards? A, whether notice for removal of a speaker restricts him from continuing with disqualification proceedings under the 10th schedule of the Constitution as held by this court in Nabia. Well, I've already argued that. So Lordships Mullahs have deferred your Lordship's judgment on that. So we'll skip that for the moment. B, whether a petition under Article 226 or 32 lies inviting a decision on a disqualification petition by the High Court or the Supreme Court, as the case may be. That's the question that I have already formulated in different, the language is somewhat different, but the intent is the same. Then C, can a court hold that a member is deemed to be disqualified by virtue of his or her actions absent a decision to the speaker? Actually, B and C are together, Manoj. They are interlinked.
Per se cases.
Yes. The language is somewhat, Manoj. D, Manoj, what is the status of proceedings in the House during the pendency of disqualification petitions against the members? Manoj, it really doesn't clarify what it means. What is the status of proceedings? What it means is that can members against whom there is a disqualification petition pending have a role to play in the House while it is pending? Otherwise, you can topple any government you want. Then E, Manoj, if the decision of a speaker that a member has incurred disqualification under the 10th schedule relates back to the date of the action complained of, then what is the status of proceedings that took place during the pendency of a disqualification petition? Now, Manoj, this question only arises if you allow proceedings to go on. If you don't decide on the disqualification before, then this question arises, because if at a later point in time, you consider them to be disqualified relating back to the date when their act led to a voluntary giving up membership of the party or violation of the whip, then, Manoj, what happens to the intervening proceedings? A government has been formed, actions have been taken, policy decisions have been made. Would it not be better, for the purposes of, I personally believe, democratic traditions, that you should await your hands till the disqualification is decided first, because this problem will not arise then? Then, Manoj, F, I think, is very, very important. What is the impact of the removal of paragraph 3 in the 10th schedule? According to me, that's central to the entire issue. Because now you don't have a split. The issue of a split doesn't arise. Which is why, if you want to go to the election commission, there has to be a split in the party, not a split in the legislature. That is not on record. No such split. So this is central, and we'll interpret paragraph 4 also in that context. Then G, what is the scope of the power of the Speaker to determine the whip and the leader of the House legislative power?